Right now, the 24th Poetry Africa Festival has ended, and the Jam Slam winner was Pretoria-based Mjele Msimang. After a week-long celebration of poetry and poets, the event came to an end last week. Msimang joins us now live. Thank you very much for your time, Mjele. Did you expect this win?
Hi, how you all doing? Truth be told, I didn't. I did not expect this win. It came as a big surprise, but I am happy that I did. I'm happy that I did.
What does the life of a poet look like? I mean, we know in South Africa a lot of artists complain about not being supported, for instance, by the Arts and Culture Department. So how is it for poets?
I mean, it's quite similar, and Lebo Mashila is the one spoken a lot about this. So she's the one that one should reference when speaking about this particular issue. But a life of a poet in general is one of a lot of reading and a lot of time alone.
But I mean, in terms of a career opportunities, would you advise young people, for instance, who are looking up to you as the winner who was announced, to get into poetry, or are you going to be forced to part-time do what you love while doing something else on the side so that, you know, economically you also sound?
Part-time, 110% part-time. I would not advise basing one's entire career on and life and economics on poetry. So yeah, always, a lot of the poets that I follow who inspire me, they're always doing something on the side as well. So yeah.
Where can people find some of your work? Do you, for instance, have a book, or do you render some of your poems maybe on a YouTube channel?
Okay, so some of my poems, I don't have a book, not yet. That is on its way. I have shared some of my poems on YouTube. You can just type in my name, surname, and you can find me there. Yeah, that's where you can find me.
All right, so now I have to put you on the spot. I have to ask you to render one of your poems so we can see why you are this year's winner.
With pleasure, with pleasure.
Great.
So this poem is called Months of Terrors. When touch became the new terror, we headed towards new griefs. For how could we heal if sharing breath was poison? Where would we go when the hospitals began to fill and the ground widened as the dead descended into its arms? We were told that medical staff would cull the elderly to keep the young blinking. The youth mattered only when the hills began to sink into swamp. We watched our elders, their age, comorbidity, their blackness still the condition. The old terrors momentarily forgotten. Off the margin and at the bottom of the page, they laughed and laughed. They slipped back under the bed and behind the door. They patrolled the streets in uniform. Heroes, joyous not to be a spectacle, at least not for the first hours. That old terror rolled through neighborhoods, stamping stamp, stamp on heads. Our griefs climbed into our phones to find refuge, to return fire that flapped like hardidars in a red wind. Another stamp, and then another. We strained behind our eyes. A man, a boy. He was a boy. He was a boy. The new terror was unwavering in its embrace. It danced and danced. We tumbled out at the foot of a grand silence, a statue. Some terrors are as old as blood, or rather, some terrors are so old they've become the blood. They are this country's first rituals to discovering itself. As the new terror pressed on every house, this oldest terror that unmade the sky kept gorging and gorging. A woman, a girl, she was a girl, she was a girl. The statue passed a grander silence. Terror grew a flag in our faces, more flags in others. I am here to stay, it said. I am the well from which griefs old and new gather.
This is what you do, right? When someone has done well, you snap the fingers.
Yes, you snap the
that
fingers.
was
Thank you,
great. What is that about? Just very short and sweet. What exactly is that poem about?
Well, it's about COVID as a new terror, but a terror that is in league with other terrors in the world. So GBV, police brutality, and all of them coming together to make the situation quite unbearable.
Thank you so much, Mjele Msimang. Thank you very much for your time. Good luck with all your poetry and congratulations once more.